It was supposed to be a harmless conversation, a moment of emotional unburdening, something I had planned for days, rehearsed in my mind while stirring soup, folding laundry, smiling at my husband as if everything was fine. But when my sister, Lena, finally came to visit that Sunday afternoon, with the kids out and the sun lazily pouring through the living room windows, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I waited until our tea had gone cold and we were deep into old memories, her laugh echoing softly through the house. Then I just said it. I told her everything. I told her that I was never really in love with Daniel, not in the way a woman dreams of being in love. I told her that I married him because I was scared of being alone, scared of disappointing mom and dad, scared that if I didn't grab the good guy while I had the chance, I'd regret it forever. I told her that there were moments, late at night, when I stared at the ceiling beside Daniel's sleeping face and wondered what it would feel like to be truly seen, deeply understood, unconditionally wanted. I told her about Aaron, yes. I even said his name aloud, though I swore I never would. I told Lena about the brief, dangerous connection with him, how I didn't sleep with him, not technically, but the things we shared, the looks, the touches, the almosts were enough to haunt me. And then I said the worst thing of all, that sometimes I wish I had made different choices, that maybe, in another life, I wouldn't have been Daniel's wife. I didn't mean it like that, not really. I was venting, purging, but just as I reached for my cup and looked up into Lena's horrified face, I heard it, the sharp clink of a glass in the hallway, a quiet intake of breath, and I knew, before I even turned around, I knew he was there. My husband, Daniel, standing just beyond the archway, half shielded by shadow, with wide eyes and shattered silence written across his face. He had come back early, probably to surprise us with pastries, like he always did. He must have heard everything, the entire ugly truth, torn from my mouth like confession at a funeral. I froze. Lena stood too, knocking over her tea in the process, stammering his name, but he didn't say a word. He looked at me not like a man looking at his wife, but like a man watching a stranger turn into someone he never really knew. Then he walked out the front door without his keys, without his shoes, like the floor had disappeared beneath him. For 3 days, he didn't come back. I left him voicemails, texts, cried into his voicemail inbox, begged for him to let me explain. But how do you explain the kind of truth that rearranges someone's whole understanding of their life? When he finally returned, he didn't scream, didn't accuse, didn't even cry. He simply sat across from me at the kitchen table and asked, in a voice so steady it broke me, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" I told him I didn't know how, that I thought keeping it hidden would protect him, that I never stopped loving him in my own flawed way, that I never intended to hurt him, only to survive. He asked me if there was still a future left for us, or just the ghost of what could have been, and I didn't have an answer, because the truth is, once a confession escapes, it doesn't just set you free, it burns down everything around it. And now, we sit in the ashes, trying to find a way to rebuild from the ruins of what he heard, and what I can never take back.